Going to give it a minute, make sure I'm actually live. Okay, there we go. Now I am live. Okay, guys, so we are carrying on now in May. And this month is about the gift of grace. There's an old saying that pride and grace do not dwell in the same place. And if any of you have been in the UK or Ireland, you might have noticed that there's the traditional spring festival on the 1st of May of Beltane, okay? And it's basically the dance around the maypole, okay? And that is about a practice, a revelry of gratitude for all that life gives us and brings us, okay? And forgot my hot chocolate. Sorry, guys. So, while originally the Festival of Beltane was about the honor of Maya, the May Queen, who basically Maya is how we get the name May, okay? And it's the goddess of increase and abundance. And if you think about it, May, in springtime at least, is when all of the earth is at its fullness. It's full of abundance, of flowers, of life, okay? And it invites us and beckons us to blossom, to open up. So for some of us, getting back out into nature will bring renewed creativity, the excitement of meeting up with people again, and a greater intensity of feeling of getting out and experiencing the world. The other thing about May, if you recall, now on the 9th of May, for most countries, we've got Mother's Day, okay? And it's that celebration once again of all that life is giving us, of abundance, of unlimited possibilities. So we're talking in May about the gift of grace. And if you notice, grace and gratitude really go hand in hand. The Latin root of grace and gratitude is grata and gratia. It's a given gift. And the experience of grace, the gift, evokes to us the expression of gratitude. So grace is an experience in which an individual slips out of the ordinary space and time, where there is no longer a separation between themselves and the world around them, where we find that place where everything is perfect just as it is, okay? And if you consider grace, most of us, or some of us at least, grew up in a home where we said grace before we ate. We are grateful and express our thankfulness for the life-giving food we're about to eat and share with others. We thank the hands that prepared it. We thank the farmers. We thank the ground. Okay? And worldwide, food continues to be a social as well as a spiritual link to all that is. It's an expression of our gratitude, of our thanksgiving. Okay? And so we give thanks before we eat. If we look even at Buddhism, we can see the four immeasurables. And the four immeasurables are very simple. Doesn't matter what spiritual practice you have, you can find them within all of them. There's compassion, there's loving kindness, there's joy, and there's equanimity. Okay? And the more we practice those four, the more we have to be grateful for, the more thanksgiving we have. And so as we live in that state of grace, we're going to find it's a transcendence. We'll find unity there as we practice loving kindness. We'll find peacefulness as we practice equanimity. And we come back to a place of complete trust that brings into view our common humanity. So one of the practices that we're going to look at this month is practicing and developing gravitas. Gravitas is what happens when we have experienced grace, and from grace we express gratitude, and from gratitude we move into gravitas, which is like charisma. And it's the quality of a person, someone who embodies dignity, they embody wisdom and integrity. They have presence. So gravitas is almost a solemnity, a seriousness, but it's more than that. It's that place of living from a place of wisdom, integrity, and dignity. Okay? And so there we can see a progression from grace to gratitude to gravitas. And ideally in May, as we're looking at the gift of grace, we are each on our own journey, moving through from grace to gratitude to gravitas. One of the ways that we might do that is practicing silence. That period of stillness, because while we might be out in nature enjoying all that spring gives, there's also that gift of silence, of just being in the world. Okay? So Thomas Merton speaks of silence as a constant reality that's not going to fail us. The reality that is present to us and in us, call it being, silence. And the simple fact that by being attentive, by learning to listen, we can find ourselves engulfed in such happiness that it cannot be explained. The happiness of being at one with everything in that hidden ground of love for which there can be no explanation. May we all grow in grace and peace and not neglect the silence that is printed in the center of our beings. It will not fail us. So this month, at some point, give yourself the gift of silence. Allow yourself the opportunity just to be still. Notice where you're experiencing grace and ease. Allow yourself an opportunity for awakening, for exploring, for growing, and for responding with those parts of your nature that are curious and attentive. Okay? The other thing that we do, and we may practice in the month of May, is it's a time to honor our ancestors. So for some, like in the US, you'll have Memorial Day, and you're basically remembering, memorializing those who came before. Recently in New Zealand, they just celebrated Anzac Day. Once again, it's a war memorial, but it's a time of celebrating our ancestors. So if you've done anything in like genealogy or knowing who your family tree is, consider this. All my ancestors live undiminished in me and will continue so to live, united with me in my descendants. Each one of us is a bearer of the traditions of the generations of the past and the generations to come. And we can choose how we're bringing forward the good, the true, and the beautiful that is part of our heritage. We can choose to leave behind the pain, but claim the strengths. And finally, I want to talk about the 9 principles, okay? And spring is a time to live from a place of excellence and grace. Not from pride and perfection, but excellence and grace. And so the 9 principles, I want to read them out to you, and then I will make a post of what the 9 principles are. 1, do not harbor sinister designs. 2, diligently pursue the path of 2 swords as one, the middle way. 3, cultivate a wide range of interests in the arts. 4, be knowledgeable in a variety of occupations. 5, be discreet regarding one's commercial dealings. 6, nurture the ability to perceive truth in all things. 7, perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. 8, do not be negligent in trifling matters. And 9, do not engage in useless activities. So if you look at these 9 principles, which are the most developed and the least developed for you in your life? Are there minor tasks that might benefit from your increased intention? How are you broadening your knowledge in new areas at this time? How much beauty and excellence are you bringing? Are you growing? Are you nourishing in your life? What do you need to release at this time? And so May's invitation is to restore your own personal inherent beauty and excellence. It's a rich opportunity to celebrate and to commemorate, to be creative and to be still, to revel in the beauty of the present moment, and to connect and to honor the past. May is a beautiful month, full of all kinds of transitions. So I want you to give you briefly the reflection exercises and then the practices that you might consider doing during the month of May. And as usual, I will post each day suggestions from this of what might you do. So one of the reflections, notice and give gratitude for all that makes you happy and brings you joy in your life. The second reflection might be, what experiences of grace have you had this month? What is your own experience of the relationship between grace, gratitude, and gravitas? As we come up to Mother's Day, in what ways do you give gratitude to your mother? What is nurturing and life-giving to you at this time of life? And in what ways are you nurturing and giving life to others? Where are you experiencing beauty and excellence in your life? And as you review the 9 principles that I just read out, what are you discovering and learning? How can you learn more about the happiness of being one with everything, the hidden ground of love? And here are some of the suggested practices. During this month, track and give gratitude for the places of grace and peace in your life. What is awakening, growing, and increasing? You might also consider during the month of May just sitting in silent meditation, in being. Just sit and be grateful for the present moment. You might also, during the month of May, take a day and work on just one of the 9 principles. And also think about how you honor, how you respect your ancestors and your descendants. You might seek out your family genealogy. Look at your ancestral lineages and heritage. Develop a daily practice of gratitude by honoring your ancestors and calling upon them for support, looking at the life lessons that they had, looking at it from epigenetics or whatever way best serves you. Another possible practice to consider in the month of May is write a poem, a prayer, or a story about when grace and gratitude are present in your life. So I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. And finally, I'm going to read to you a prayer that is at the beginning of the chapter by Webb Dubois. Help us, O Lord, to remember our kindred beyond the sea. All those who bend in bonds of our own blood and of humankind, the lowly and the wretched, the ignorant and the weak. We are one world and one great human problem. And what we do here goes to solve not only the petty troubles that are ours alone, but the difficulties and desires of millions unknown. Let us then realize our responsibilities and gain strength to bear them worthily. So May is once again a time of grace, but it's also for recognizing it's a time of unity. We are all in this journey together. Have a great day and a great week. And as usual, I will be posting in the group daily reminders of what the possible practices and reflections are that we can do during the month of May to remember the gift of grace, to practice our gratitude, and to ascend to a more state of gravitas, of one where we embody wisdom, we embody integrity, we embody excellence in all that we are. Have a great day.